Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 7 of Inbound Now. Today I have with me Peter Shankman. Peter is founder of Help a Reporter Out. He's the author of 2 books, Customer Service, New Rules for a Social Media World, and Outrageous PR Stunts That Work and Why Your Company Needs Them. And he also runs his own agency, The Geek Factory. So welcome to the show, Peter.
Thanks, good to be here.
All right, so I wanted to get you on the show today to talk about, a little bit about the story behind Help a Reporter Out and why businesses, should be leveraging this free service, how PR is changing with the world increasingly moving online, and then I have some fan questions that were submitted for you as well.
Sure.
Sound good? All right, cool. So can you tell the audience a little bit more about what Haro is and why they should be using it and why it would be beneficial to their business?
Sure. Help a Reporter Out is actually a very simple concept. Reporters all over the world are always looking for sources for all of their stories, whatever they're working on. We've created a system where reporters can submit those queries to us. We then send them out 3 times a day on a mailing list to just about 200,000 members now. And you get those queries, and if you can answer the journalist, you do so immediately, and you can wind up in the paper. It's actually a very easy, very simple way to get your name out there. And publicity, whatever it is you're doing, whatever company you're running, or however it is you're doing it, publicity can always really help your brand and help really build your business or build you yourself into a bigger powerhouse. And that's what Help a Reporter does.
Cool, yeah. So it's matching those journalists with the actual sources, and it's kind of a win-win there. So you kind of build your company's credibility or your own. So
Correct.
I think it's an awesome service. I've been on the list for a while
Journalists-
now, and I found it pretty useful.
Yeah, it's really helpful. Journalists get what they want. Sources get the exposure. Everyone wins.
Right. So and you started it as a Facebook fan page, right?
I did. I started as a Facebook fan page as a favor to some journalists I knew who were always looking for sources on deadline. And next thing I knew, it grew into this massive thing that it is now, where it's generating a lot of revenue, and it was acquired several months ago by a much larger company, and for quite a decent bit of money. So yeah, everyone wins.
Cool. So what are some of the changes? Is it kind of evolving as things move forward?
Yeah, I mean, everything evolves. You get an acquisition, everything really does evolve. But we're really, I'm focused on not really changing it at all. I want to keep it the way it is, and so it hasn't changed. It's getting bigger. We're getting more journalists using it on a regular basis, which is great for the sources, great for everyone using it. But we're really taking care in not to change what works. You have something that works. There's no reason to mess with it.
Okay, cool. So in a lot of your talks, you mentioned that how PR is changing, and instead of businesses going out and getting their own PR, they should be building evangelists that kind of go out and build the PR for them. So what would be some great ways for companies to kind of build these evangelists?
Yeah, it's really PR has really moved into more of the world of customer service, and if you can treat your customers well, they will do your PR for you. So the best thing to do, the first thing, is to be a good customer. Make sure your business is focused on excellent customer service, so that customers have a reason to go out and tell your story and say why you're so great, and tell everyone why they love you so much. And no one tells a better story than a happy customer, and no one will tell that story better to people that trust them already than a happy customer. So you make that customer feel like they matter, and they'll go out and they'll tell everyone else how great you are.
Awesome, cool. So what are some of the most common mistakes you see people making today in PR, both traditional and online?
I think that the number one thing is people tend to you don't want to talk about yourself that much. Too many people really talk about themselves and make it more about themselves and less about the customers. You really want to make it about the customer, and once you do that, you do that by listening. And as long as you're listening to your customer, you then become that company that listens and follows through and fixes stuff when there's a problem. Customers love that, and again, that will turn your customers into fans for life. And like I said, they'll do your PR for you, and that's really what you want them to do. You want them to be the ones going out there and talking about how great you are to all of their friends. That's how you'll grow your business.
Right. And that's just more credible them saying it rather than you saying it about yourself, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I always joke. It's like being in a bar and going up to a woman in a bar and going, you don't know me, but I'm awesome. You should come home with me. she's going to throw a drink in your face, you know. But if her best friend sees you and goes, "Oh my God, you should go home with him. He's awesome. I know him," you know, you're going to get laid.
There you go. So, in a lot of your talks, you also mentioned, 4 rules. Transparency, relevance, brevity, and keeping top of mind. So on transparency, talking about transparency, why is it now more important than ever to be transparent online?
Thinking about transparency is really simple, in the respect that, it's no longer a question of if you're going to screw up. It's really a question of when. And when you're going to screw up, it's going to get out there and people are going to know about it. So if that's going to happen, your best bet is to avoid that, is to get out in front of it. Do screw up, because you know what's going to happen. You're transparent about it. You say, you know what, we did screw up. We're taking responsibility for it. Here's what we did. Here's how we intend to fix it. And by doing that, you're preventing anyone from finding out anything about you and saying, oh, look at how bad they are. You're getting in front of the problem and saying, you know what, we did screw up. Here's how we're going to fix it, and here's how we're going to learn from it. And it allows you to really be in front of the problem, and people don't think, oh, they're lying or they're caught lying, whatever. When you have a problem, you get in front of it and you say, here's what we did wrong, and here's how we're going to fix it for next time, and you won't lose the confidence of your customers that way.
True, I totally agree. So, and then the other on the other topic, keeping top of mind, top of mind presence. How do you do that?
For me, it's really as simple as just talking to people on a regular basis. Calling people who I might not have spoken to in a while, just saying, hey, how's it going? Talking to them, not asking them for anything, but rather just talking to them and seeing what they're working on, finding out how I can help them. A lot of it really comes down to how we can help other people, as opposed to what they can do for us. If you work it by asking what you can do for other people, you tend to be a lot more. You tend to just get a lot more out of it, because people always want to feel like you care, and not that you're just pushing them to do something or to get something out of them. It's basic. Right. It's basic. It really is in a lot of ways basic. Common sense.
Cool. So like I saw on your blog or somewhere, it was you say happy birthday to everyone on Facebook when it's their birthday. Just kind of keeping in touch. Are there any other tools, or how do you kind of manage that and reach out to people and remember to keep in touch?
I'm a believer that you want to reach out to people. Again, when I tend to look at people on Facebook, see what they're doing, and figure out if there's a way to match them. I might make notes that this guy on Facebook is very into golf or whatever, and if I happen to see an interesting golf story, maybe I'll post it on his wall. Just something to let him know I'm thinking about him, and it stay top of mind, and it helps them out.
Right. Cool. So you've grown a pretty massive network, over the years. And one of our fan questions is actually Kip Bodner. He heads up the blog here at HubSpot. He asked, what are some of your secrets for building those relationships with media and with influencers?
I think one of the big things you want to do is you really want to talk to people, again, not trying for anything. You want to find out what they like and engage them in conversation, as opposed to simply throwing stuff out there and broadcasting stuff out there. Too many people post stuff out there and just say, here's my stuff, read it. And it's more about, if my audience is following me, what are they interested in? What do they want to know about? And then can I give them stuff that matters to them? And the more you do that, the more they actually want to hear what you have to say.
Right. So, and then another question. Our CEO Brian Halligan, wrote a post a while back, claiming traditional PR is dead, and press releases are largely ignored today. Would you agree with that statement? And where do you see that trend moving forward into the future?
I think that the press release is not necessarily dead, but you really need to be much more aware of what you're saying in it. It needs to be much more about using good SEO and making sure that the information you have in it can be shared and replicated. It's not just sending a release out to a journalist and hoping they write about it. That doesn't work anymore. So press releases are still valuable, but they have to be valuable for the right reasons.
Okay, cool. And have you seen any examples of people kind of getting press mentions from maybe like a news site like Quora or LinkedIn Answers? Would you say that's a viable tactic kind of for getting that traditional press?
I've seen some people use it. I don't really know if it's been that successful, but I have seen some people use it to varying degrees. I think it really comes down to what works better for you. I haven't seen it work that great for those people. I think if you try hard enough, yeah, you can get press on anything, but you really do want to be aware of. It comes down to really where is your media audience? Where is your media audience hanging out, and are you going to be are you helping them? Are you more beneficial to them in various places? So if you're more beneficial to them in somewhere like a Quora, great, stay there, but know where your audience is, know where your journalists are, know where they're spending their time, and reach them wherever they happen to be.
Right. And with like a service like Harrow, you're helping them out because you mentioned that journalists are now doing the jobs that 5 journalists used to do. They used to have a way bigger staff.
No question about it. Yep.
And now it's just making that as easy as possible. Feeding them information. Because they're not necessarily dying for a story, but they're dying for sources, and it's just making that easier. I think is important.
And they have to do a lot more with a lot less. So the better information you can give them, the faster you can give them to it, the better off you'll help them, the better chance you have of getting quoted in a story.
Cool. Yeah. So how do you stay current on what's changing in PR and internet marketing?
I talk to people. I listen to everything. I read. I read the latest blogs. I love podcasts. I get all my podcasts in when I'm biking in the morning, when I'm running in the morning. Getting my workouts in. I listen to all my podcasts and listen to what people are talking about. And there are some talented bloggers out there that I listen to as well. I think it really comes down to how you like to get your information, and whatever the best way to get your information is, that's what you're going to wind up using over and over. So again, that comes down to really knowing your audience, knowing how your audience likes to give them their information. So I choose podcasts just because it works for me. Someone else might like blogs or webcasts or video pods or even radio or TV.
Right. So what would be some of those podcasts that you like to listen to?
I'm a big believer in the main ones like the New York Times, NPR, front page New York Times. I could download thousands of NPR podcasts and BBC podcasts. Literally, I could download hundreds of BBC podcasts every day and never grow tired of them. What else do I listen to? I listen to I'm a geek, so I listen to some triathlon podcasts just because that's the kind of stuff that excites me. There's a great skydiving podcast called Skydive Radio. ZDNet has some good ones. What else do I listen to? Hang on, I'll load up iTunes. I'll tell you what else I have. What else do I listen to?
You're a big skydiver, right?
Yeah, I'm a skydiver. There's some running podcasts to listen to. So there's some good stuff out there if you know where to look.
Yeah. So your Twitter handle used to be @skydiver, correct? And you switched over to Peter Shankman. Is there a reason why you did that?
Yeah, there are a lot of skydivers out there, but there's only one Peter Shankman. And when I switched over, the next day, Twitter immediately verified my account. So, it's really just about continuing to grow your brand and make sure your brand is, my brand is about me. And my name is Peter Shankman, not Skydiver. And so you really need to, at some point, you have to sort of realize, okay, the Skydiver's fun or whatever, but you really have to go with what your name is. And if you look at the people out there who are really working on their brand, as well as they are, they're not using cute names. It was fun for a while, but the fact of the matter is my name is not Skydiver.
Right. And you're saying you're the only Peter Shankman out there?
No, I mean I'm sure there are others, but I'm the only one with this brand and with this awareness out there.
Right.
Okay. As such, Twitter, like I said, they verified my account immediately. There's another Peter Shankman out there, and his Twitter name is P Shankman, and I wonder how many followers of his actually think they're following me. Because this guy tweets every 15 minutes, but it's always Apple news and computer hardcore geek stuff, and I'm just I really hope people don't think that's me.
Yeah. I get some random tweets at David Wells for the baseball player, and it's
yep.
I'm not him, but okay.
Not making that kind of money.
Yeah, not yet. So, I mean, yeah. So where can people find you online?
Well, like I said, Twitter is @Peter Shankman. Facebook is facebook.com/Peter Shankman. And, of course, the best place is my blog, which is just shankman.com. I bought that domain back in '96. It's shankman.com.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate your time. And, we hope to get you back someday.
Anytime, man. Thanks for having me.
Cool.